Guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 7 on DraftKings kicks off in just 24 hours if you're watching on YouTube, but I'm recording this on Friday morning, so it's 48 hours for me where I'm watching right now. I'm going to detail 5 players that are projecting under 5% on this weekend's dumpster fire of a slate. I do want to put this caveat out there for you that on a full slate with 13 games and a lot of really good teams, there are always high ceiling, high volume plays that end up being under 5%. On this week's slate being a 10-game slate, much shorter, we're losing 6 teams. And those teams that are available this week, we lost 6 teams, the Jaguars, the Saints, the Dolphins, the Eagles, the 49ers, and the Vikings, who provide a lot of fantasy goodness on their rosters. They're off the slate as well. So while it is important to get different, I think that you should probably expand a little bit more to players under 10% than under 5%. But the video is 5 under 5, so I'm going to give you 5 guys who are under 5% for this video. But just understand that you want to expand a little bit on the percentage this week. Our cheat sheet does highlight a bunch of players that are under 10%. If you wanted to get access to that, you have to be a paying channel member here on YouTube. Smizzle.tv/join to get you the sub channel for that, or the sub page to become a channel member here on YouTube, and then go over to Discord, smizzle.tv/discord, link the 2 accounts. Hopefully you are using the same email that you subbed with on YouTube to join Discord, and then follow the things in the hashtag instructions folder over there. Get your account linked. Your name will turn red if you're a YouTube channel member, and you will find the cheat sheet in the cheat sheet folder right where it belongs. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
Make sure that you join the Smiz Gang Listener League for Week 7. It is posted on DraftKings. It's $10 to enter 3 max. $45,000 in the prize pool, but you will not find the best tournament on DraftKings in the DraftKings lobby. You have to go to the link tree. Smizzle.tv/links will take you there, and in the link tree you will find the link to the Discord, the Listener League, my Instagram, my Twitch, everything else, including the fantasy football, the Al Smizzle fantasy football channel, where I shout out the top 10 finishers every single week in the Smiz Gang Listener League. So make sure you get in there. Absolutely no rake. Take advantage of it. Make sure it fills, or they're going to make it smaller. So we fill it earlier, all the better. Make sure you get in 3 max, $10 a piece. Our first player on this video is going to be Aaron Jones. I am going to assume that Aaron Jones is going to be utilized the way that we want. He was a limited participant in practice Thursday. As long as there is no structural information, no structural impediments to him actually moving and cutting, and they said he looked like he was comfortable making cuts on the practice field on Thursday. He benefited from a week 6 bye, on track to return for Sunday's game. This is as good a matchup as you can possibly get. He's projecting it up just over 3%, 6,800, and nobody's going to pay for him because of the players that exist around him. Ken Walker Jr. being 7K, Jacobs being 74, down to like Isaiah Pacheco at 61. He's in this no man's land, and if he is going to get a full complement of snaps, which means 15 to 20 opportunities on the week, he could absolutely smash this Denver defense, which has given up the most points on DraftKings to opposing running backs, and Aaron Jones, their most dynamic offensive player on Green Bay, and they're going to need to lean on him if he is healthy. They have great drugs at the NFL level. Hopefully any structural issues from that hammy are gone, and he can get after it this weekend against Denver. Next, we're going to James Cook, who frustratingly did not get any targets in the last game. Latavius Murray got close to him in terms of carries. They played against the Giants. He has been kind of up and down this year. 123 yards against Las Vegas, double-digit points coming 3 weeks ago. The thing is, when it comes to DraftKings, again, this middling price point of 6,400 against a New England defense that is very gettable, especially for a player of his ilk who can provide in the passing game and has big playability, as we've seen with a 48-yard catch back in week 4 against Miami, a 26-yard against Las Vegas, 34-yard run against Washington, 36-yard run against Las Vegas back in week 2. As players trend downward, not on talent, not on injury, not on snaps and usage, he's still out there, but 7.1 points in week 6, 5.1 points in week 5. The price trends typically downward. It hasn't for James Cook. Usually he went from 64 to 63 to 63 to 6,000. He probably should be about 5,700 this week, but DraftKings priced him at 64. So that alone is going to keep people off him. But we're such a projection-based game, and there are so many beyond the projection people that use projections. There's a lot of players that play on DraftKings who play on feel and box score watch and game log hunt and all of those things. Say, well, they're not playing James Cook. It's Latavius Murray's backfield now. So what happens is the price typically comes down. It hasn't in this case, but the ownership comes down as well. James Cook is projecting at 3% this week. Are you telling me that he has lost his big play upside? Are you telling me that the Buffalo Bills do not project to play from ahead in this game against the New England dumpster fire? Dumpster fire is the slate. It's the New England tire fire. So do you think that he suddenly can't make plays? That he suddenly has lost his explosiveness, his big playability, the things that you're looking for in a sub 5% play? Certainly not. So we can pay up a little bit to be contrarian off of the Isaiah Pacheco's, come down a little bit off of the Walker and Jacobs chalk, and get to this spot with James Cook that allows us that 2 touchdown upside, mostly going to have to come from long distance, but in a quick situation where they're going no huddle or going hurry up, he can stay on the field if a play ends inside the 5-yard line. We've seen him get goal to go snaps already. They split them 3 ways last time. With Damian Harris out, they're splitting them 2 ways. So there's potentially more meat on the bone for a James Cook play in tournaments here in week 7. Saquon Barkley projecting at 4%, coming off a game where he got 29 opportunities with Ty God at quarterback. The game before that, 24 opportunities way back in week 2 pre-injury. He's clearly fine. The Giants playing at home here in a game against a team that is certainly gettable in the Washington Commanders. And I get to get one of the most explosive players at 4% owned. And we can pay up to be contrarian in this spot. There is more than enough value on the slate, both at running back and at wide receiver. Tight ends, there's always value plays, but like the ceiling isn't there. There are ceiling possibilities at sub 5K. At wide receiver, there are plenty of running backs under 6,100 and down who have ceiling possibilities to allow you to fit Saquon Barkley somewhat optimally into a tournament lineup. And at 4% against Washington, a team that can be run away from, that you can get because of their propensity for turnovers and inability to stop pressure on their quarterback, Sam Howell. Pressure leads to turnovers, sack fumbles, shots to the outside, short fields possible for Saquon Barkley to couple with his big playability. Love Saquon Barkley, sub 5% this week. Let's head over to Underdog Fantasy, where they currently have a deposit bonus for a first-time deposit of up to $500. If you want to take advantage of that, look, don't leave your kids laying out in the street. Go pick up the free $500. Go do that, right? Use promo code ALSMIZZLE, ALSMIZZLE, all one word, and get up to a $500 deposit bonus on your first time deposit to the site. I'm going to bet 3 hires because I'm a donkey and I just want to have fun, and let's use the 3 guys that we've already mentioned in this video. Aaron Jones over 50.5 rushing yards, James Cook over 70.5 rushing plus receiving yards, and Saquon over 87.5 combined. Higher, 100 to win 600. Submit, confirm. Boom. Go on, check out the great products that they have over at Underdog Fantasy today. Our last 2 players are going to come from the wide receiver position. Chris Godwin, coming off of a 7-target game. I specifically like this play because of how Atlanta defends. They have shut down basically everybody's wide receiver 1. Players that play specifically on the outside. Chris Godwin does move from the outside to the slot often. He plays about 40%, both spots plus. Knowing that he's not going to draw that toughest coverage, knowing that that's going to go towards Mike Evans, we might see inflated volume in this game for Chris Godwin at 6,900. He's coming off of 2 straight games, 13.7 and 22.4 points. Points are going to be at a premium this week. Every game in the early part of this slate, 44, 38.5, 39.5, 42, 41. Whole lot of low totals. So getting a player who can get you there on volume and hoping that he can get off the schneid, as much volume as he's received, 7 targets in week 6, 8 in week 2, 11 in week 4, some of that's going to translate to a touchdown sooner rather than later. Volume does lead to touchdowns. They're just unpredictable. So if he continues to get that volume and the inside the 20 snaps, the red zone snaps and targets that he has gotten thus far this year, 6,900 is a restrictive price. The meta this week is paying down at wide receiver, paying mid to up at running back. And if you are not playing, double stacking, you're not going to find your way to Chris Godwin because nobody wants to double stack the Bucks. So you're using him either as a one-off or as a part of a secondary stack with somebody on Atlanta, whether it's Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Jonnu Smith. It gives you a way to differentiate with both sides of that secondary stack, as well as giving you a player with floor and ceiling possibilities for a defense that wants to shift things away from players like Mike Evans. Potentially more volume here for Chris Godwin this week in a good matchup against players who run to the slot. Rashee Rice, there is no way I thought that he'd be under 5%, but he's projecting at 4%. So I'm going to take the value where it is. Every other Kansas City Chiefs pass catcher not named Travis Kelce is sub 4K. Rashee Rice has run more routes, has been one of the most included players in terms of red zone opportunities and end zone targets for the Kansas City Chiefs. When the ball is in his hand, he has looked to be the pass catcher with the most juice on that Kansas City wide receiver room. Kadarius Toney is just a guy who gets these short targets, doesn't do much with them. He has to create it all with his, like, kind of like Rondale Moore, kind of like Wan'Dale Robinson plus. Let's say he's like a streaming service. He's Rondale Max, right? Where Rashee Rice has some downfield possibility. Double-digit catch in every single game so far this year against the Chargers defense that can't really stop anything. So the possibility for him having a 6-target game, considering that they've lost one deep threat wide receiver in Christian Watson, not Christian Watson, but damn it, what's his name on Kansas City? Now I got to look it up. Now I'm confusing myself. I got to find him. Rice, Kansas City, wide receiver, Justin Watson. That's who I'm talking about. Gonna miss this game. Yes, they did go out and trade for Mecole Hardman Jr., but I don't think he's ready to come in for them and step in and play a full complement of snaps, though he does know the playbook and will get some run. He's never been a guy for them that's done more than gadget plays, jet sweeps, screen plays, and nines. Where Rashee Rice could see a more full route tree this week and have more inclusion in terms of his targets with a beatable defense as well. So give me Rashee Rice, please, under 5% at 4,700 for the team that has the highest team total on the day. It's not out of the realm of possibility that we're going to get a 3+ touchdown game, a 300-yard passing game from Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert has done extremely well in his career in games against the Chiefs. So this is a team that could possibly push the Chiefs for the first time this season and get them out of being a run-heavy, deflate the ball in the second half and just let the time run out team. This could be that game where they get 60 real life points. And if that does materialize, you're going to see Rashee Rice have himself a solid day. Let's head over to Fantasy Labs. If you do not have an account at Fantasy Labs and want to get a discounted subscription, use smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L. That'll get you the football only subscription, the only place that you can get it, as well as a discounted 6-month if you are an NBA player. And now that overlap season is here with NFL and NBA, college football, MLB still in the playoffs, golf season still going, NHL going, the most bang for your buck is with that all sports 6-month package. These are all the rules that I start with every single week. They're going to have to change with Anthony Richardson out for the entire year, Chicago passing the ball more, but this is where I've typically started. We make sure that we get at least one player where it's less than 12%. And if you wanted to force the players from this video or any under 10 or 5% players that you want, simply build a group that uses at least one of the 5 players I mentioned: Aaron Jones, Cook, Barkley, Godwin, Rice. We're going to apply those settings, tell it to build us 150 lineups, realize that you're not just going to go over to Fantasy Labs and click generate and all of a sudden just start printing money. You're going to have to really work with it and massage the combinations, correlations, and allocations that you have for the players until the lineups look just the way you want. But it's a fantastic tool with great projections. You can even upload your own to help you be more efficient, because everybody's got 9-to-5 jobs. You don't have time to grind this stuff 10 hours a day. Fantasy Labs is going to help you make it a little bit more efficient to get yourself to lineup building day. So thank you guys for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.